Vice President Kamala Harris will visit battleground Arizona today for a major speech on border security and immigration. It will be her first visit to the southern border since becoming the Democratic nominee. Now, according to a senior campaign official, Harris will call out Donald Trump for his role in tanking a bipartisan border bill earlier this year. In August, the Border Patrol recorded about 58,000 encounters between ports of entry along the southwest border, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Compare that to Donald Trump's last month in office, when the Border Patrol made just over 75,000.
Wait, are you saying that there are lower number of border crossings now than when Donald Trump left office?
You want to look at actual data? Yeah.
So hold on a second. I don't understand.
Right.
So he's attacking Kamala Harris, but the border crossings are lower now.
And he killed the deal. Was put together by bipartisan legislation.
Right, but you said they're lower today under Harris and Biden than they were under Trump when he left office.
Correct.
Even after he had 4 years to work on it.
Right.
Wow.
But, you know, depending on what you watch, you won't get that truth. So starting today, the Harris campaign is running a new ad focused on her immigration policy, set to air in Arizona and other battleground states.
Kamala Harris has never backed down from a challenge. She put cartel members and drug traffickers behind bars, and she will secure our border. Here's her plan: hire thousands more border agents, enforce the law and step up technology, and stop fentanyl smuggling and human trafficking. We need a leader with a real plan to fix the border, and that's Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
All those things, though, that, Susan, all of those things that Kamala Harris said she supported would already be law of the land if Donald Trump hadn't called Republicans on the Hill and said, kill this conservative bill.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I think back to that moment at the beginning of this year when a conservative Senator, Jim Inhofe, he's spent, weeks and weeks closeted with Democratic counterparts in the Senate. They come up with this bill. It includes major Democratic concessions to tougher provisions than Biden would have otherwise agreed to. And what does Trump do? He kills the bipartisan bill that not only Democrats, but that Republicans in the Senate had demanded. And, of course, what did they do? They chose the leader, Donald Trump, over their own measure. They left hanging out to dry their own conservative senator and what they wanted.
Well, I mean,
it was a gift politically.
Langford is one of the most conservative.
He is one of the most conservative
in the Senate, and it was, fine with him. And to his credit, he has said, we should have done this. We should have passed this. He hasn't made any bones about saying Trump is wrong. We should have passed this, and look where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, you look, Jonathan Lemire, at the Bloomberg polls that came out this morning, and you see how close this race is, but how it really is tipping right now in the slightest sense towards Kamala Harris. I do think so much of it has to do with the fact that she has gotten the message out that they were ready to pass the toughest immigration bill in history, with James Langford and other conservatives supporting it. And Donald Trump killed it. Like, do we have the polls, the Bloomberg polls from this morning? TJ, can we put those up for a second? Because I really do think that it is having an impact in a lot of these swing states. You look at Arizona, Harris up 3 in this poll. Tied in Georgia. There's a Fox News poll that has her up several points there. Michigan, Harris +3. Nevada, Harris +7. None of us believe that number. That is going to be close to the very end. North Carolina, Harris +2. They feel great about North Carolina. Pennsylvania, Harris +5. That's a fascinating number, too. I think that race is a little tighter than that. Wisconsin, Harris +3. But we can look at Arizona especially, though, Jonathan, and that is a state where she's going today, and she's going to drive home the point that she, along with James Langford, supported some of the toughest moves on border security ever, and Donald Trump killed the bill.
Yeah, and one of the things that her campaign keeps pointing to is her ability to communicate certain messages in a way that, frankly, President Biden wasn't able to earlier this year while he was still running. And one of them is on the border. She did it in the debate. She's done it in media appearances. She's done it on the stump, pointing the finger squarely at Donald Trump, saying one of the most conservative senators out there was the lead negotiator on this bill. You killed it, and you killed it for your own political gain. And that's driving home the larger theme of the Harris campaign, that Trump is simply out for himself. He's not out it for the citizens. He's not out to make it better at the border. He's simply looking for his own personal gain and political power. And we're going to hear that again from her today. And the fact there was another poll of Arizona that came out this morning, Suffolk USA, that shows Harris down a couple points there. But this is all margin of error stuff. And the fact that Arizona is in play at all is a change from where things were heading in the spring, Joe Mika Willie. And it's about trend lines. This race is close. Yep. We say it every day. This is a margin of error race. But right now, it does feel like she's got the momentum, perhaps slight momentum, but momentum all the same. And they want to keep the pathways open at 270. Arizona and the border is a way to do that.
Right, and the trend lines have been in a direction, and I don't mean to keep bringing this up, and maybe they're the only polling outfit that's right, but the trend lines have been in a direction. The New York Times Siena poll will come out, and an entire shift of reporting will happen. It will, overnight, where people say, well, her post-convention bounce stopped because the New York Times Siena poll will do something that is always outside the margin. Put these Bloomberg polls up again, if you will, TJ. And again, it doesn't look like the momentum has stopped, but a New York Times Siena poll will come out. And for some reason, people, the reporting has to be truthful. And the truthful reporting is that the New York Times Siena poll is always outside the margin of error. The New York Times then will run 16 articles on their New York Times Siena poll. And then we will really be shocked when numbers like these come out, because it'll show that actually the trend lines do continue in Kamala Harris's favor.
They do. I mean, those numbers tell the story right there. I give you one more number, too, when we're talking about Arizona, because Vice President Harris will be there today down at the border, that the campaign likes, the Harris campaign likes when you talk to them, which is the Senate race there. There's a Fox News poll that came out just yesterday that shows the Democrat Ruben Gallego, who's been running a great campaign down there, now up 13 points on Kari Lake.
It's amazing.
Who is a Trump acolyte. She brings with her all the things Donald Trump brings: election denialism, rhetoric against immigrants, all of those things. And now, we're still 40 days away, but Ruben Gallego has opened a 13-point lead on the Senate candidate there, which obviously might benefit Kamala Harris as well.
And
we're
Willie,
talking,
what's so interesting about that is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but so interesting there is Ruben Gallego is not a conservative Democrat. He's not even a moderate Democrat, the type of Democrat that can occasionally win in Arizona. He is a center-left Democrat, and he's still up by 13 points in Arizona. It's shocking for a state that I don't think it voted for a Democrat since Harry Truman until 2020. I think that's right. And now, they're electing Democratic senators, and here you've got a center-left Democrat up, what do you say, 13 points?
Yeah, Fox News poll has the spread at 13 points right now. And again, that's Donald Trump, right? That's Herschel Walker. That's Dr. Oz. Go down the list. Those are, Kari Lake is another one of his candidates.